healthy to play off of the ball much more this season.
There's one of the turnovers you were talking about, Stu, as Jalen Adams flies into our table. I'll tell you, the junior from Roxbury, Massachusetts, Adams, he's bringing some energy and toughness in this exhibition game. You wouldn't know it's an exhibition the way number 4 is playing.
Well, I had a chance to talk to him earlier today at UConn's practice, and he said, you know what, I don't care if it's a charity game. I don't care if it's practice. I'm going to play hard. And the one thing I said to him is people will remember if you play bad or play good, it's up to you on how you go out there and put it out in front of people. And you can see that early, guys. He's already taking this personally.
Adams picked in the first team for the AAC preseason. The Huskies overall picked 5th in the conference. That's a little lower than UConn fans want them to be, Donnie.
Well, you have to understand where they came from. You mentioned it, and we're going to talk about it probably a lot this season. 5 returning players, really 2 of those, right, guys, that really have
real
any
minutes.
meaningful minutes for Kevin Ollie. So, and then you throw in a different little system. You know, Kevin Ollie has a new assistant coach, Rafael Chilios, who's going to also implement some of the things he learned at the University of Washington. Great recruiter. You see him, you know, he's a guy that's always on Kevin's right side, his right-hand man so far. But there's a lot of newness to this team, like we talked about, and the players have to understand that as well. Plenty of opportunity out there for him.
Here's Eric Cobb, transfer in from Chipola College. He's a big boy, 6'9", and he's stuffed there. Great block, 280 pounds in the paint. Cartwright, great dish off. Little exhibition jitters there in the middle from Nate Watson, freshman from Arlington, Virginia.
Well, Ed Cooley's high on Nate Watson just in terms of his athletic ability. He really thinks that he has a future in this game someday.
I think we're getting what we would expect. You know, some jitters, some missed bunnies from about 3-4 feet, some travels, moving screens, all those things they'll be able to clean up. I really believe, talking to Kevin Ollie earlier today and all of us talking to Ed Cooley, that they're just trying to get a gauge for how their guys approach a real game. You know, it's easy to see guys in practice and how they approach those, but to see a real game, and this is a real game for these players, and for most of them on UConn's side, their first real college game.
I'll tell you what, Donnie, if you're Kevin Ollie, you have to like the fact that even though you have a group of new players, they are moving the ball well offensively, playing unselfishly, as if they've been together much longer.
Here's Cartwright, feed inside. Young couldn't hold on. Larrier, he's found Gilbert, open triple, no good. Hard foul in the paint, goes against Isaiah Jackson, and both teams getting open looks early, and I guess this is what the exhibition's all about. Maybe they're knocking those down in a couple of weeks.
Jitters, you know, guys are probably surprised. Gotta be honest, when you're in practice leading up to the season, you don't get a lot of wide open shots unless you're doing shooting drills. Your guys have been with you most of the summer. They know what you like. They know your tendencies. So to get a wide open shot, you're probably a little bit surprised in this setting.
We get our first look at the highly touted freshman, Mekhi Ashton Langford, 6'3" out of the Brewster Academy. Ed Cooley and Providence fans expect a lot from number 1 in white.
Yeah, it's funny, though, when you have a talented young freshman like that, as Adams takes a shot here, what you're looking for is not for him necessarily to exhibit what made him a great offensive high school player. Ed Cooley wants to see, can I put him in a game defensively where he's solid, doesn't make defensive mistakes, and doesn't hurt us.
The freshman's going to run the point right now for this Providence offense.
We're getting like hockey substitutions.
We are. This is what exhibition basketball is all about.
You know, we've seen it a lot, too, and you've read about it, how coaches are trying to put starters with their new guys. They mix and mingle, but that's in practice. You know, this is something I think that coaches really they love this, because now you can mix and mingle guys under real competition.
And these two schools, they're used to playing what we would call powder puffs for an exhibition game. Yeah. That's not this. This is real basketball, and both teams brought the energy early. Cartwright, 12-footer, got it. That's what makes him a special player, Stu.
Well, and it's what made him the most improved player in the Big East last year, and now preseason second-team All Big East player. I mean, Tyron Cartwright would be one of the best point guards in the Big East.
Antoine Anderson, no good from 3. He's a transfer from Fordham. Fifth-year player Kevin Ollie's brought in. Scrappy in the middle of the paint, dumped off to Diallo for the finish.
And that's where Cartwright's at his best. If he's not knocking down mid-range jumpers, he really knows how to get into the teeth of the defense. And these guys have been together, at least their core guys, so long that they know move without the ball, he will find me.
Terry Larrier still looking for his rhythm. That rims out. The follow draws the foul. That's Isaiah Whaley, freshman from North Carolina. He's at the foul line when we come back. Both teams shaking off the rust. So are we here on Fox Sports Go. Providence up 4 early. Back here in Mohegan Sun Arena, Donnie Marshall, Stu Jackson, Jay Alter with you. Exhibition game between the Providence Friars and UConn Huskies. And fellas, through 4 minutes, 8 fouls, 4 turnovers for the two combined teams. If that's not exhibition college basketball, what is?
No, you're exactly right. I mean, you know, they're throwing the ball all over the gymnasium. If you're sitting here close in the stands down low, beware, okay? Because, you know, these players are just now starting to, you know, get a feel for one another. They've done it in practice against one another, as Donnie spoke to, but they haven't done it in these game conditions. And when you get in a game, you get slippage. And that slippage is really shown in the fact that you miss shots and you throw the ball all over the arena. And
Stu, you know, in practices, coaches don't call fouls. They just let guys beat up on each other to find the toughness. Well, once you get some officials out here, those whistles are going to start flying left and right. You got to play defense with your feet, not with your hands.
Hey, and we got 3 great officials out here tonight, Donnie.
Awesome officials.
I know a good friend of yours, John Gwynn, who's been a veteran official, and you know we've got John Gaffney out here from the Big East, as well as Mike Stevens, who, by the way, all 3 are donating their time tonight in honor of Hurricane Elite.
Gaffney, a sandbagger in golf. John Gwynn, one of the best one-dribble pull-up guys ever. And Mike, just an all-around nice guy, just in general.
John Gwynn, a former Husky, and you said he convinced you to come to UConn when you were going through your recruiting.
I said he tricked me into going to UConn to play for Jim Calhoun.
You wouldn't have done it any differently.
Convinced is different than tricked. You're absolutely right.
Alpha Diallo had a 3 on the last possession. Hands off to Langford. This is the young core that we're going to see a lot of tonight for Ed Cooley. Seven to shoot for Cartwright.
I like the fact Watson got it in their post, and when he was doubled, threw it out.
Kyron Cartwright.
They end up with a good possession, another ball reversal, and a wide open shot.
The senior hits it with Jalen Adams' hand in his face. Those two, you'd think this is mid-season, the way they're going at it.
A nice luxury to have Bullock and Cartwright when you have younger guys out there. So at least you have a couple of release valve guys who go to if you need it.
Right on cue, the senior Rodney Bullock grabs the rebound and starts his Providence attack. Another great pass from Cartwright. Diallo with the finish from 3.
Well, we talked about most improved player, but not only that, 4th in the nation in assists last season, led the Big East. Kyron Cartwright picking up where he left off.
And the sophomore, Alpha Diallo, 6 points early, 2 triples. Providence up 10.
Yeah, I mean, Diallo, listen, I mean, 4 of his last 12 games last year, he had over 15 points and double figures in most of the others. Here's a guy that's on the come, a much improved player over last year. Ed Cooley said before the game he thought that in practice Diallo was his best player.
He's proving it early in this game. 6 minutes through, he's got 6 points out of Providence's 15. He's looked the most sharp, I would say, on either team, Donnie.
And I think, you know, Providence, again, we talked about some uncharted waters. You talk about Ed Cooley's teams. They just scored 8, 10 points in a snap of a finger. In the past, Ed Cooley's teams have had some issues trying to score the basketball. You know, they can get you up and down, but they go through these lulls. You know, and I know it's early, but coaches are watching how efficient they are, how they move the basketball, and when they can get a bucket and how quickly.
New backcourt for the Huskies, Antoine Anderson as well as Christian Vital, a talented sophomore. He likes to shoot from 3. Here's Adams on a triple, no good. That foul called against Nate Watson, the freshman not boxing out. He's grabbing on the rebounds too.
Well, Nate is big young Nate, okay?
Another great
pass.
pass.
This is his first game. He's still a little bit of a bull in a china shop, but you can see the potential there in terms of his aggressiveness, his ability to rebound. As we said before, he's trying to play basketball offensively the right way, trying to move the basketball, get it in the post, send it back out. It's only a matter of time before his potential is realized.
Adams goes right to the hole, in for two.
And as you watch Kyron Cartwright do it at the other end, UConn has a guy who can get to the teeth, be a passer or score, and that's Jalen Adams. Got to do more of that this season.
You know, this is an interesting part of the game for Providence right now, Donnie. They're in here without Kyron Cartwright. So now we're going to get a look at see who exhibits some leadership, who can lead this club, get them in the offense, who can spearhead the defense without him during those times during the season when he's not available to him, either because of foul trouble or injury.
And we see Drew Edwards out on the floor, missed last season. Great athlete, but a guy that they need more consistency from, and maybe to find his place. Doesn't have to be a point guard, doesn't have to be a shooting guard, but he's got to be that guy that Ed Cooley thinks, you know what, wherever I put him out there, I can count on him, and that's going to be a part of helping that backcourt when Cartwright does go to the bench.
Ed Cooley really does have a luxury with his Providence team returning every scholarship.
Another great pass from Cartwright. Diallo with the finish.
How each other play, what one likes, one doesn't like. Providence, they just did this a year ago, and they're just going to re-rack it. Sure, you sprinkle in a couple of freshmen, but the core remains the same.
You know, talking to Kevin Ollie, what he's looking for from Antoine Anderson, obviously Jalen Adams, Altariq Gilbert, he's looking for 2 to 3 guards that he can throw on the floor with a wing and a big, which is where the college game has really gone the last few seasons. A couple of scorers, couple of ball handlers, and that really is the best bet for UConn this season.
Adams once again attacking the hoop in the and one for the junior.
But I'll tell you what else Adams was attacking here, Donnie. He was attacking a freshman big. He saw that freshman big coming off the screen, and his eyes lit up. Takes him to the cup for an and one.
You know, I have to give Josh Carlton and Eric Cobb, the 2 bigs for UConn, a lot of credit. They've crashed the glass, they've come up with some loose balls, but also there, Carlton didn't gum the lane up for Jalen Adams. He rolled, he stopped once he saw Adams turn that corner. Heads up play.
Here's another freshman on the floor with Kai Ashton Langford for Ed Cooley. Great ball rotation. Edwards steps into a shot. Air ball.
And that's the part of Drew Edwards' game he's going to have to work on. Mid-range is such a tremendous athlete. You get a guy in the air, one dribble, pull up. The problem with a lot of, you know, I hate to sound old, Stu, but the problem with a lot of basketball, especially college guys today, is they see highlights, dunks, and long threes. When some of the greatest players to ever play the game at this level or at the NBA level were mid-range guys.
Yeah, but now they're saying it's not analytically efficient.
Right.
There's a whole era of basketball
long
that didn't make sense
right
in the last 50 years that today those players couldn't play, Don.
I agree.
Mid-range, sit on me next to the bench.
That's right.
Sit next to me.
Long twos, I'm like, if it goes in, I like it.
This is the first time we've seen Providence run their flex offense.
Ashton Langford draws the foul. He'll head to the foul line.
You know, the offense we just saw there with the, the 2 players in the free throw line, 2 wing players and a block player. They run what they call flex offense. And Ed Cooley, historically, when they need ball movement or they need to make sure that they get a shot and the ball in the right hands of the right player, they'll go to flex. And you saw them run it there off of the underneath out of bounds, but you'll see a lot of that during the season.
I mean, guys have been running it since middle school.
Yep.
And it's still almost impossible to defend consistently time and time again. And it's easy to teach. It really is. It really illustrates spacing for a lot of young players also.
2 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the court. Maybe another reason Cooley goes to that easy to teach, easy to learn.
Yep. And you don't turn the ball over as often. You know, they're predictable spots, predictable passes. As long as you're strong with the basketball, don't telegraph passes, it's a good movement offense.
After made baskets, Providence has gone with that three-quarter press, broken again by UConn and Jalen Adams.
And that's where the luxury of Adams and Gilbert come in for you.
Larrier, too long on that one. Gilbert gets the offensive board. Here's Alterique Gilbert, preseason freshman of the year for the AAC, showing off the handles. And Larrier misses a wide-open layup. Great pass from Alterique Gilbert, but the finish not there. Ashton Langford goes coast to coast.
That's where Ashton Langford's going to be great. That will transfer from high school. He gets to the basket, and he's a terrific finisher. You know, his perimeter game will come, but that is what he does well.
And I'm fine with him doing that. He doesn't have to be a facilitator. I think if you come off the bench, you need to give your team energy, and he can do that for Ed Cooley.
Adams continues to will this offense for UConn. A charge called there. Isaiah Jackson set his feet. Friars leading by 8. These two teams, nobody told them it was an exhibition. They're out playing here at Mohegan Sun.
Who can make shots? He doesn't quite have that yet.
UConn and Kevin Ollie trailing by 8 right now. His play is about to resume here at Mohegan Sun. Stu Jackson, Donnie Marshall, Jay Alter with you. Big East Digital Network, Fox Sports Go. Thanks for joining us as college basketball is back. The intensity is here, and we're getting a great battle between two former Big East rivals, Providence and UConn.
Well, we're also getting the first look at DeJour Dinkins from Providence.
How about a stuff from behind?
Great block shot.
The trailer, Larrier, no good, short. Alterique Gilbert, another offensive board. They go inside, Larrier blocked on the other end. Back-to-back blocks, one on each side.
I'll tell you guys what, I don't understand how Larrier has been on a whole season and hasn't gained a pound. I gained 5 pounds walking into the casino. I mean, and this is going to be a huge part of what he's going to have to do during the season. He's going to have a body, or learn how to use his body when he's inside. The AAC has some big bodies.
And with Emmett Holt out, senior forward for Ed Cooley, Khalif Young getting some minutes in that post. Number 13 in white's done a nice job guarding Larrier there, and the VCU transfer knocks it down.
That mid-range game, Stu, I love it. One dribble pull-up.
It's just not offensively efficient enough for me, Don. I don't know. I think they should take those 2 points off the scoreboard.
Come on,
Stu. It wasn't a dunk, and it wasn't a 3.
It's a 15-footer. Richard Hamilton, a UConn great, made his entire NBA career off of that shot.
You know what's going to be interesting, though? Like, Larrier's had some tough perimeter shots. He hasn't hit the ball from 3. We'll see now whether or not that mid-range shot actually gets his game going and fueled a little bit.
Opens the basket up a little bit.
Yeah, yes, to give him a little bit more confidence.
We've got a lot of basketball left, and UConn's already in the bonus. Isaiah Jackson heads to the line for Providence. That's the 9th foul called against the Huskies tonight. And Donnie, the UConn schedule really tough in non-conference. Arizona, number 5 in the country. Villanova, number 6 in the country. They've got them early in the season. How do you gel a group that's not used to playing with each other really quickly? I know a game like this helps, but
I have to be honest, when you're talking about keeping the players in the right mindset, I think it's more important to keep your coaches and for the head coach to be in the right mindset, to not just say, hey, we're young, you know, that's an excuse, but to say, how can I learn from this? We have tough competition coming up, and not put it all on your players. I think Kevin Ollie is built to do that.
Larrier, great move there, taking 2 men on and finishing.
Getting comfortable.
That was a big time move. See, now he's got the layup, he's got the mid-range shot. Now we're going to see the real Larrier come out.
Terry Larrier has sat out virtually the last 2 seasons, that transfer year from VCU, and then a torn ACL 4 games into last season. So it took him 10 minutes to get going, but he's a real player, Donnie.
You know, when you tear an ACL too, you're thinking about it. The way you function, good or bad, is all between the ears.
Great take on the other end by Rodney Bullock.
Yeah, we've seen that out of Providence. A lot of ball faking, getting guys in the air, trying to get the ball on the rim to the mid-range shot and finish at the rim. That was a beautiful move by Rodney Bullock.
When you begin getting beat up by Villanova on that show and go for the last 4 years, you learn to do it.
Yeah, we talked about Larrier getting his game going. This is a beautiful move over 2 Providence defenders. Down at the other end, right, off of a little bit of ball movement. The experience of Rodney Bullock comes to the forefront. Ball fake, beautiful finish at the rim.
How about using the offhand? I don't think enough players do that. And he is a veteran, so he's learned. But you see so many times guys stay with that strong hand, and he stretches out, gets away from the defense.
Bullock led the Friars last season in both points and rebounds. He'll probably do it again in his senior year. Meanwhile, the Huskies senior-less. Not a single scholarship player in their senior year. Their one leader, the junior Jalen Adams, who's at the foul line right now. He's got to take over that senior role.
I agree with you about Rodney Bullock, too, because I think Kyron Cartwright is a huge part of that. He has more confidence. He understands to get his stud going early in games.
Here's Cartwright right now. Great pass. And a foul hard on the floor. That's the freshman, Josh Carlton, flying in for the Huskies. He's been throwing his body around early in this game.
Well, that's when you have to learn. It only takes you 1 or 2 spills. Stay on the ground until the guy goes up and challenge it. For bigs to get off of their feet, it shows you they have a lot to learn.
And this is your guy, Stu DeJour Dickens, the freshman from Hampton, Virginia.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's a long drink of water.
You got guys
I don't know if he's my guy yet, but I like the looks of this.
You were shouting him out pregame.
He was.
We know you won't play for Stu if you shoot along too, and I'm sure
DeJour's not pulling up.
If you don't make your free throws as big, you're probably not going to play for Stu Jackson. There you go.
There he is. There he is. I tell you guys, one thing to watch now, right, is the fact that Kyron Cartwright is back in the basketball game, okay? Because all of a sudden, after 2 possessions, the tempo is already picked up offensively for Providence. They're in the bonus. They're shooting the bonus. Let's see how much of a factor he is against this group against UConn.
And let's give the group that was on the floor without Cartwright some credit. They kept the lead, and now he comes back in with an 8-point cushion to keep it going.
Adams guarded by Alpha Diallo. A mismatch height-wise and a jump ball called. Diallo 6'7", taking on Adams 6'3". Ed Cooley going with a bigger lineup right now.
Mix it up, right? Go to the 2-3 zone. They were man-to-man. They were talking, communicating. Now he throws them into his own. UConn a little stymied by that.
Yeah, but you're talking about Diallo's defense. How about the help defense by Nate Watson, the freshman? Not only did he help, but coaches always want to see you help outside the lane. He was there, tied the player up, and here we go.
In a zone as well, Stu. A lot of guys think zone is to relax and rest. That's your guy, not mine. That was great help.
Christian Vital knocks down his first 3 of the game. And he can shoot it 37% last year. He made 52 of them.
I like it, but it can't become fool's gold. You can't think when I'm open, I'm going to shoot it every time. Now you give a little head fake. You can put the ball on the floor, draw a couple defenders. Don't settle for the 3. UConn struggling from that range tonight so far. Offensive.
Yeah, that's a good call.
UConn back within 5, Donnie. They've really found themselves in this first half.
So important, out of bounds underplays. A lot of coaches will throw that ball in the backcourt just to get the ball in. Kevin Ollie says, no, we're going to run a play, swing, knock down from the corner.
Well, you saw Vital hit that 3 in the replay. You think Ed Cooley's rethinking his zone strategy now?
That'll take you right out of it, right? Ed Cooley's, but as much as we love Ed Cooley, he's stubborn. He's hard-headed. So he's not, 1-3 is not going to scare him and get him out of that zone.
Cooley,
I mean, you gotta
smiles
love him.
there.
Always, though, always. Wasn't he great with us before the game?
So good, so good.
Just relax. But when you have 5 starters returning, that will relax you a little bit more than most.
It will. And Donnie, he said something else that stuck with me, and that's that college basketball should do a game like this every team, every year for charity.
That third game, I think Stu had mentioned before. There's two already. Why not throw a third one in and the proceeds go to a charity?
And if every college coach was like Ed Cooley, they'd be doing it.
Absolutely.
And the world would be a better place, too. Larrier, another mid-range jumper. That too much on it, Stu.
Yeah, that likely is to translate into a Providence scoring possession here.
Ashton Langford, another drive and finish.
And it's a one-dribble pull-up with a guy in your face. You didn't create any space. All you did was jump over a guy.
He's not playing like a freshman in his first exhibition game. A lot of confidence on the court right now. Here he is again. This time the dish looking for fellow freshman Nate Watson. Couldn't get it cleanly, and a turnover.
But I like the idea. Looking for the open man after a deep penetration there.
And just a little too low on the pass. You got to learn that from your bigs. And you're throwing to bigger guys at this level. In high school, maybe that low pass, you can complete it. But when you got bigs down there and they're carving out space here, give it to them. Now, this is just a tremendous move. Body control, understanding where the defender is, keeping that off arm in and finishing strong.
And Ed Cooley told us he wants to give his freshmen 20-plus minutes tonight. A good strategy. Hey, you got UConn here. It's an exhibition. See what you got. Because right now, this is the first time their coach has seen them playing a competitive basketball game.
But one of the many things I love about Ed Cooley is that what he said to us, I want to see how my freshmen come out here and approach a game, a real game. I'm not going to tell them what to do, how to do it. I just want to see how guys approach the beginning of this game, warming up, and once they get in the game, I think he's got to be really pleased with his guys. But again, there's a reason they recruited him, you know. So he can't be that surprised, but probably understanding that, hey, you got a good team on the other side in UConn. These kids are, a lot of these kids are from the area. Cooley has taken a couple of recruits from UConn. So there's a little bit more behind the scenes stuff going on. These kids are responding the right way on both ends.
You know, we talked at the beginning of the game about experimentation by the coaches, and here we're seeing one. Right now you've got Makai Ashton Langford at the point, and Kyron Cartwright as the two guard. Again, just a little bit of a, do I have a different wrinkle if you're Ed Cooley in presenting a different look?
UConn still trying to figure out this zone.
And there's that fool's gold shot. Now a guy in your face from almost the same spot going the other way.
Rodney Bullock on the other end with a three.
6-point swing.
Yeah, and that's the kind of shot you take when you're a senior.
Right.
A dribble up three with a hand in your face. No one else could probably do that except Rodney Bullock.
Another fool's gold shot, Donnie.
Yeah, you make one and now you think you can make them all. Those are the ones you get a head fake and you go to the basket.
Alpha Diallo rimmed out, unlucky. Nate Watson to follow. It's good.
Okay, that was a big man rebound right there. Donnie, come on. Come on. UConn had possession. He just ripped the ball away from the offensive player.
And Eddie Cooley told us that we're going to love this kid. He's a man down there. He's strong. He understands. It's really, Eddie Cooley has to love what he's seeing. And I know he says he's going to mix it up a little bit, but he's got some options.
5 on the clock. UConn's got to move. Adams trying to bail him out. Can't make it.
I like the shot fake there. Get into the paint, little floater.
Ambitious from the freshman.
And that's what you're going to have to live with. The freshmen are going to make those plays at times.
Anderson, he got it.
Needed it.
Antoine Anderson, the transfer from Fordham with his first 3 of the game.
Let's do a different shot. In transition, guys are retreating back. It's not like the last 2 where guys are in your face under duress.
No, there's no question. You get the quick turnover. You know, Angston Langford turns, with the bad shot, the turnover, and then gives up the bucket at the other end.
Cartwright draws the foul. We've got immediate timeout. UConn cut it to 5. The Friars went on an 8-0 run, relying on the senior Rodney Bullock.
And you called it, Stu. In transition, late hand. Eddie Cooley wants his senior to take that shot. And then here, a man's rebound. And keep it, big fella. Finish. You earned it. Providence up 10, 33-23.
We're here with 6 minutes to go in the first half. UConn trailing by 13. And this UConn Husky team only returns 4 players from last year. Only 2 that played extensive minutes, Jalen Adams and Christian Patel. So we're seeing a new look team, guard perimeter oriented, a lot of penetration. They're spreading the guys out, really trying to drive and kick. And so far, they're still trying to get settled in with new rotations. Kevin Ollie's not sure what he has at this point. He's trying to get Terry Alaria involved. He's been aggressive early on. He's only 1 of 9 so far. But you can see these are the early look of a new rotation of guys that are still getting used to playing together. The key thing defensively is they're giving up too many points in the paint, and Providence has been too effective getting to the basket.
Thanks, Tariq. Stu, early impressions of the Huskies. We've seen them for 14 minutes now.
Well, they haven't shot the ball well. They're only shooting 30% from the field, and so far their best offense has been the offensive rebound. But they haven't been able to convert. I mean, you can tell by the fact that, you know, the newness with which they're playing and they're not being used to one another is really showing itself in their shooting percentage and their shot selection. But that will all come. Remember, guys, we have to keep in mind this is very early.
The guy Tariq was talking about, Terry Larrier, a lot of contact, nothing called. Foul comes on Eric Cobb then.
Well, Kevin Ollie, he has to like Carlton and Cobb. His bigs are working their tails off, and it's hard when you work to get a rebound, but you're not really involved in the offense. And that's one part of this UConn team. Kevin Ollie's going to have to convince his bigs, keep playing hard. You know, second shot players as young players is a good thing, but you want to give them some confidence that they're involved, that they feel a part of the offense. The other good thing I would say Kevin Ollie can look to is the spacing of his team. Even though the shot selection hasn't been the best, his guys are getting out of the way for teammates. They're playing with intensity. Sometimes, and you know this probably better than me, Stu, is when you're unsure, you tend to back up a step. You turn it down a click. You're not sure. Kevin wants them to make aggressive mistakes. They're doing that.
Yeah, there's no question. And that's the major difference between the teams. Yeah. These guys on Providence are used to one another. They understand each other's timing, where they want the ball, what shots they can make, which shots they can't. If you're Kyron Cartwright, they just have a better feel for one another so far in this game.
Block called. Antoine Anderson with a head of steam ran into Alpha Diallo there.
Diallo actually bailed him out because Anderson got up in the air and then decided where the ball was going. I don't think he had vision of Jalen Adams running the lane, and there's Kevin Ollie teaching. And listen, he's got to be happy with his big. Eric Cobb is he can be a monster for them. Tough, down in the paint. He's going to be a guy that's not going to complain from the description Kevin has given me and just being around this team a little bit this summer.
This is Eric Cobb's 3rd stop in 3 years. Started his college career at South Carolina, then went down to the Panhandle of Florida with Chipotle College, and now finds himself in Storrs, Connecticut, and he's got no better teacher than Kevin Ollie to try and get his craft going in his 3rd year.
Terrific feet. He can run the floor really well. That's all you want from a big. Get up and down in transition. Good things can happen.
Going the other way.
Yeah, well, going the other way because it was an illegal screen, and that is a big point of emphasis among NCAA officials this season, is they want to clean up the screen. And, you know, in that case, you can get up to the man, but you can't touch him. You can't spread your feet too wide in an effort to make contact with the defender, which is what Khalif Young did there.
Antoine Anderson, the transfer from Fordham, getting a lot of minutes at point guard right now for Kevin Ollie. Trying to find a 5th-year impact player at the guard spot. Patel out of control there. It stays Huskies basketball. I don't know who touched it on the Providence side of things. And it's corrected. Fryer's out.
And another guard for Kevin Ollie, you know, making a great move, getting into the paint, but really having no one there to drop it off to.
Here they're running that flex offense we talked about earlier.
10 to shoot for the freshman Ashton Langford. We've seen some moves from him early. Goes for another and a foul drawn.
Okay, now that's a good quality by a young point guard because what Ed Cooley has in this young man, Mekhi Ashton Langford, is somebody at the end of a shot clock who can create a play when all else breaks down. Here it is, under 10 seconds, gets to the rim, gets the foul. Now he gives his team a chance with 2 points at the line. That's a quality in a point guard that you want.
And it's a scorer's move, too. He extends towards the basket. A lot of young players will try to avoid the contact. Then it makes it easy for the official to say, play on. Ashton Langford understands, I'm a scorer. You're jumping, I'm jumping right into you going towards the basket.
I'll tell you what, though, you know, as well as Providence has played and as well as they've shot the ball, you'd expect them to be up 15, 17 points. But UConn's done a good job of just hanging in there. If they can do it the last 4 minutes of the half, and you go back in halftime and regroup.
7 to shoot for Adams. Step back 3. Doesn't go down for the junior.
Boys calling out the play, getting guys in their spots. That is the definition, in my opinion, of a true point guard. Not just a guy who handles the ball more than anybody, but a guy who can get people in their spots.
Lost the handle there.
Those issues are going to happen. He's young, but that's okay. You let him play through that.
Foul in transition. Terry Larrier still trying to find himself 2 years without consistent basketball. And he's back putting up shots for the Huskies. Providence up by 9, Mohegan Sun Arena. Every penny going to the Red Cross. 2 teams going at it in exhibition play. In Providence on the Big East Digital Network, Fox Sports Go. We're going back to 1987. This was not on Fox Sports Go. Fox Sports Go, not even close to a thing. Billy Donovan on the court. We're throwing it real back. Cliff Robinson for the Huskies.
Uncle Cliffy, we call him.
It was Jim Calhoun's first year coaching UConn. Shows you how long ago it was.
Boy, that is, and, you know, that's my Providence team. I want you to know that.
You were coaching?
Yeah, the producer did not pick up on this.
What do you mean?
There was a young assistant coach on the bench by the name of Stu Jackson.
Stu Jackson on the bench.
Yeah, the Blues
we're gonna try and find you. Is
There
that
he
Stu? Is that Stu with the mustache?
That's great production.
Look at the Billy D. Williams mustache. Wow. No, we can't pass the cream jacket.
Yes, and I want you to know, Donnie, I was in charge of wins. Wins. That was my job as assistant coach.
Oh my gosh. Well, you were winning with that mustache. I got to give it to you, man. Billy D had nothing on you, man.
Who let you wear that on your upper lip?
No. Who let him wear the jacket? The mustache was in style.
Both are horrendous. Both are horrendous.
Tell me you got rid of that jacket.
No, I still have it.
Come on, man.
You should have worn it tonight.
I considered wearing it tonight. You don't understand.
Oh, my gosh.
That was my winning jacket.
Wow.
Well, guess what? It worked. You got the win that night against UConn in 1987.
Oh, goodness
funny
gracious.
I wonder what Ed Cooley was doing in 1987.
Oh, boy. And you know what's interesting about that Jim Calhoun team? That was the last time. Kevin's year last year, losing season, but the last time that they had a losing season was that season we just saw. They were 9-19, Jim Calhoun's first season. So now we fast forward and we see Kevin Ollie 16-17 last year. So a little bit more pressure filled for him with this new team. Like we talked about all game, all half so far. A lot of changes for him, but really unprecedented what happened to him with the injuries, the youth, and then the record towards the end. I don't think it defines what the program is now, but there are definitely some changes happening there, and they got to happen fast for Kevin Ollie.
Yeah, but you know what, Donnie, you know, sometimes your weakness is your greatest strength. I mean, based on what we saw out here today, they have some good athletes.
Yeah.
They have good returning players that can shoot the basketball, but the main thing is they're only going to get better as the year goes on.
Agreed.
So, you know, I mean, if you're Kevin Ollie, you don't feel that pressure. You just feel the pressure of trying to get these guys better every single day.
I got to be honest, though, at practice today, Kevin Ollie told me he's probably going to sit most of this game. He's not going to be up and down. He's been up and down about 25 times, guys. So when it's in you, it's in you. I mean, he lives, breathes, eats, sleeps. I mean, this is what Kevin Ollie was built to do, a great point guard. We played 4 years together. one of my dearest friends to this day. But when he told me today, guys, that he was going to probably sit most of this game or all the game, I looked at him like he was crazy, and he was crazy.
Though you know him better than he knows himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competition brings the best and the worst out.
That's right.
And Donnie, you've been running with these guys throughout the summer. Does Kevin still have it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think if any of us didn't have it, we wouldn't still be out there embarrassing ourselves. We know.
Okay, there you saw a turnover in UConn. What did he do? He handed the ball off. Again, we're talking officiating.
Yep.
Handed the ball off with his body still moving. Okay, you can't set that moving screen when you're having a handoff.
You got to give the officials at this level a lot of credit too, because as the game evolves, they have to evolve. It's not that easy for officials to find a pickup game to go officiate in the summer like it is for players to go play.
Great pass. Ashton Langford, almost the finish, draws the foul. Alpha Diallo picked him out beautifully, though.
It was a great pass. If I were Ashton Langford, what you want to see, though, on a play like that, when he sees that contact defender coming, don't shy away from the contact. Go at the rim and get the contact. Maybe you get the and one. Watch him here.
I praised him earlier. This was a switch on the backside. Larrier lost sight, so Anderson came up. But earlier he went into the basket. That time, again, he's going away from it. And a lot of young players do that.
Yeah, you want to, coaches like to say, when you're trying to finish at the rim, take that ball through the nose of the defender. Don't bring it back. Don't double clutch. Just take it at his nose.
And in all fairness to him, I think he was trying to create some space to finish and get the and one, not necessarily afraid of the contact, which happens a lot.
All right, another stop here by Providence.
Friars up 9. 2.5 minutes to play. Takeaway. But he missed the finish. Jalen Adams. Oh, he'll be kicking himself. I know it's an exhibition game, but he did so well on the defensive end. He deserved 2 points.
We'll call that an exhibition miss. How's that?
He avoided the contact, but focused more on avoiding the contact than actually finishing the basket.
Alpha Diallo lost the handle, got it back. Isaiah Jackson in the paint, making moves for 2.
That's a beautiful move. If you look at Isaiah Jackson, I call him the glue guy from Providence.
DeJour Dickens, the freshman.
My guy. That's my guy.
That one there, just Vital just trying to fight a bigger player. And there was really no need for him to fight. Just get behind, wait for your help.
It's a good piece of officiating, though. Oftentimes referees will give that smaller player a little bit more license to be more physical with bigger players. That time, official John Gaffney recognized the smaller player was actually displacing my man, DeJour Dickens.
Let's just pay attention when DeJour doesn't do something great.
We'll be quick to point it out.
Stu still claims it.
Block shot. He's down on the block. He gets fouled.
At 7 feet, as a freshman, you come in a little raw. The big men typically do. But he's shown some flashes in this first half. Ed Cooley, he's got something to work with.
And Ed said that, in all seriousness, the young man is a little raw, but you can see the innate talent that he has, the ability to run, the ability to catch, defend, and contest the rim.
Another mid-range jumper doesn't go for Larrier. The finish there, Christian Vital, perfect position for the scoop and score.
Yeah, way to clean it up for Larrier. Larrier there, you got a bigger guy, you give him a shot, and get to the basket. He's the shot blocker. He's 25 feet from the basket. You've done your work, now get to the rim.
Larrier, though, struggling in this first half, 2 of 11, but he keeps shooting, trying to keep that confidence high. Jackson again attacking the lane, draws a foul.
But all set up by Jackson, the head fake, the show and go, and now guys are trying to recover to help a blue jersey out. Can't get there in time.
But you know, when you have a team like Providence, I mean, the floor seems awfully spread. Why? They've got good perimeter shooting, and every one of these players has been instructed to use that ball fake, get the defense flying at you, and then go by. That time, Jackson creates the foul.
Isaiah Jackson shot the ball very well to end last season. He's the transfer from George Mason, but what I like about him is he's interchangeable. He can play a couple different positions, and you have to respect the fact that he's 6'6", he's a junior, he's seasoned, and he can knock down a shot.
Donnie, I got 2 words for you. Glue guy.
Yeah.
Glue guy.
Yep.
Larrier working on Dickens, and he takes advantage of the freshman. Step back mid-range jumper.
Yeah, you know, if I'm Larrier, I want to continue this trend here over the next several games and get my offensive going by getting to the rim with the mid-range game. The three-point shot will come. But this guy's a very talented basketball player.
Well, we talked about that fool's gold, guys, and when you make a shot, you just have confidence here. You got the bigger player on you. You get him to rock back a little bit. That's pretty good defense, but you know, great offense beats great defense any day of the week.
20 seconds left until halftime. Ed Cooley going to hold for one, talk things over. This is exactly what an exhibition game's for. You have a chance to draw it up, try and get a play going to halftime.
These exhibition games, though, they remind me of alumni games or those games where you say, or all-star games. You're trying to feel each other out, and the coaches say, hey, we're going to play the young guys. We're going to see what we got out here. But as you get closer to halftime and then you get closer to the end of the game, it gets a little bit more serious, you know. Throw out the window what they said about just letting our guys play, let us get a feel for them. They're trying to win. I don't care what it is. Kevin Ollie and Ed Cooley would not be head basketball coaches at this level if they were just playing just to see. They're trying to win at all costs.
So,
anytime.
Donnie, is what you're saying the last 5 minutes of the game we're not going to see the free substitution? Is that what we're saying?
I think you know the answer to that.
Well, UConn opens out here in a little bit of a 2-3 zone.
8 on the clock to the freshman Ashton Langford.
Just giving them Providence a different look at the end of the half.
Providence doesn't convert there, but still takes a 9-point lead into halftime. Fellas, quick impressions before we step aside.
Kevin Ollie's got to be happy. They didn't shoot the ball well. A lot of struggles, only down 9. Defensively, I think they got after it, but the veterans of Providence, they really honed in on who they were. But if I'm Kevin Ollie, I'm not that upset with the way that half went if you look at the score.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like Providence should be up a little bit more, but on the other hand, if you're Ed Cooley, you've had a chance to experiment with a lot of bodies. He's probably played 10 or 11 guys, and that will be one of Providence's strengths going into the season. And look, he had some mistakes, he had some turnovers, right, some things to clean up, but all in all, he's got to feel a great deal of confidence in the depth of his squad.
Providence and UConn, 20 minutes down at Mohegan Sun. The big winners tonight, the Red Cross, the check being presented at halftime. We'll step aside, second half action coming up on the Big East Digital Network. It's Fox Sports Go. Now, we've had 20 minutes of entertaining basketball. It's an exhibition game for a good cause. The American Red Cross getting $75,000 check presented at halftime. UConn Athletic Director Dave Benedict, Providence Athletic Director Bob Driscoll. And yes, it is an exhibition game where we get to see the teams for the first time this college basketball season. But that right there, that's the important part.
I think it's great that even though these players understand we were just playing basketball, the coaches explain to them what this is about. And everyone who's on social media, who watches television, they know the hardships that we have in this country, Puerto Rico and Texas. You understand Florida, so they know it's not just about basketball. It's to have someone other than yourselves. And I got to be honest, as a college kid, it's hard to understand you're helping to help other people off the floor, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, that's what's part of the education process, though. It's up to these coaches to help them understand at a time when most of these young men are just worried about where their next jump shot's coming from. Okay, they understand tonight that they're actually helping somebody else and a part of something bigger than themselves.
And we're happy to bring it to you on the Big East Digital Network, powered by Fox Sports Go. If you want to donate to the Red Cross, 1-800-RED-CROSS, or go online to redcross.org/donate. Second half about to begin. Three-man booth today here on Fox Sports Go. He's Donnie Marshall. Stu Jackson alongside as well. JL for the Tariq Turner, Ken Adams on the sideline. A loaded crew, five-man crew for an exhibition game. A foul called on the opening possession.
Oh, wow. I thought that was pretty good defense by Tariq Gilbert. Good hand, got it in the passing lane. Too much spotting, too much hands down low.
UConn has 17 personal fouls in the first half. Well, you got to get something to clean up as Isaiah Jackson opens the scoring with a nice drive for two.
Stu, you talked about it. He's a glue guy. He could be that one piece that teams aren't going to expect to see. I mean, he can do so much both ends of the floor, Jackson.
Yeah, and he's already taken 2 charges in the game, Don. He rebounds the basketball. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes defensively, and he still has the ability to score.
Another whistle against the Huskies.
And that's Eric Cobb down low doing a little bit too much to try to carve out some space. I always think at this level, that's the hardest position to defend and to play offensively. You can't carve out space. You can't put an arm on a guy.
Off of the Allo underneath.
Well, great back screen there. Great back screen by Cliff Young. Excellent pass. Good finish at the rim by Diego. Good execution.
Tariq Gilbert floater. No good. And Gallo comes in and grabs that ball.
Oh, big time rebound.
Cartwright turnover. Senior a little bit confused as to what he did wrong.
We talked about Providence's ability to execute here. Perfect pass at the rim after back screen there by Young and the finish.
Can't stress how important it is to have one guard at this level or any level, for that matter, that understands the offense, that understands his players, that knows every position inside and out. And Providence has that in Cartwright.
And that's the tale of the two teams right now. We see a pass from Cartwright on one end and a turnover from UConn on the other.
And you're going to get that if you're Kevin Ollie with 2 guards, 2 point guards essentially playing side by side. One understanding when to cut, 1 point guard trying to figure out the other one's comfort zone.
Kyron Cartwright, we saw the pass in the second half. He led the Big East 7 assists per game last year. Rodney Bullock, partner in crime, fellow senior, draws the foul on the drive.
All right, we talked about, the fact that these players have all played together. There you got Kyron Cartwright going at a screen by Rodney Bullock. But Cartwright knows that the defender's hedging and Bullock's going to slip the screen. It's an easy pass or an easy buck. That just comes with timing, experience, and playing together for a long period of time, which UConn, unfortunately, for many other players, they don't yet have.
2 seniors that have probably ran that play hundreds of times. Meanwhile, UConn, they only returned 2 guys who played more than 4 games in a Huskies uniform last year. And that is just brutal. There might not be another team across the nation that has that same statistic.
I think the support helps Kevin from David Benedict, new AD there. Jim Calhoun has an office in the practice facility across from Kevin Ollie, so you can lean on a guy like that. And actually, Jim Calhoun just signed on to be a head coach again of the Division III St. Joe's University in West Hartford, Connecticut, but he's still in the building, so Kevin has some support there to be able to help him through a season like this.
Coach Calhoun, mad much respect, because that's a guy that just loves the game. The fact that he would contribute to a Division III team as a Hall of Famer just speaks volumes about who the guy is and what the game means to him.
And a Division III team that not one male student in the school yet. So next year will be the first year they allow men to be in school and then have a men's team the first year.
I cannot wait. We got to get cameras there to see that first open tryout.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. Coach Calhoun, does he know what he's getting into? Have you talked to him about it?
I have. He wants to teach. That's why he wanted to do it. He wants to teach. He wants to continue to use his mind. How about we cover the first game? Hope
Let's do it.
And Fox are doing that.
Yeah.
Division III games.
You can too. Re-rack it.
For there.
There you go. Jalen Adams, meanwhile, He's come to play tonight. He's been the best player for the Huskies, not even close in the opening 23 minutes.
Well, good news and bad news, that's what he was last year, but we saw how the year ended for Kevin Ollie. He's going to need some more help, Jalen Adams, this season.
In transition, trying to find Adams, Larrier throw away. Diallo in transition. Great defense by Anderson underneath. No numbers with Larrier. Picked by Kyron Cartwright. Open in front of him. The dish. Bullock, the exclamation point. What a slam for Rodney Bullock.
I tell you, after a turnover, when you have the ball in Kyron Cartwright's hands, good things are going to happen for the Friars. And, you know, under control, great pace, dumps it off for the easy pass in the zone.
Adams trying to shoot UConn back into this game. Another transition opportunity. Bullock, this time he goes for the and one.
Okay, a little bit of an ill-advised shot, I thought. Too quick a shot by Adams in that case. That's what I call a shooting turnover, right? It's not a turnover. You get a shot, but it's a shot that acts as an outlet pass, right, for the easy break for Providence College.
This is what you get from guys who have played the game and been around it a lot. I call it a Band-Aid shot.
Yeah.
You hear the crowd going crazy, so you're going to try to take a long shot. It doesn't go down, and now the wound is opened even more at the other end.
Yeah, good pass there by Diallo there on the board.
Completes and one. A slam and a smart play to get the extra point. Providence has opened this up to a 20-point game.
Yeah, but why have they opened it up? It's because Ed Cooley challenged. Now it's starting unit against starting unit, right? Starting unit. No jitters. They're going away. Let's see what you do. And his team's responding.
Largest lead of the game for Ed Cooley and the Friars. Up on 20 on UConn. Here on the Big East Digital Network. UConn and Providence.
No.
Jim Calhoun, a thumbs up. Kevin Ollie on the court. Did he have a teammate? Oh, Don Marshall.
With hair.
Where? How about that? I just told Stu when we saw the beginning of it, it's too Brady for me. Maybe I am that old.
1995, UConn and Providence. Donnie, was that a goatee that you were trying to grow out there?
Yeah, with some facial hair. Yes, it wasn't a Billy D mustache. I couldn't pull that off. These are some good battles. I got to be honest with you guys.
There it is. Can we get a free
Peach fuzz. Peach fuzz. That's what that was.
Does that take you, what, 3
could
weeks to grow out?
You could already see the receding hairline that Coach Calhoun had the effect of right there.
You know, Donnie had a successful career, but it's no wonder. He played with a Hall of Famer. That's Ray Allen.
I didn't get very many touches, that's for sure.
Ray actually went off that night. I was looking at the highlights earlier today.
That night, every night.
Every night. Every night. And there's Coach Calhoun right there.
I tell you, the celebrity in this shot right here, our right, coach's left, his wife, Pat Calhoun. She is a saint. I mean, she kept us together when Coach would yell and scream at us. She fed us meals. I can't give enough credit to her and what she's gone through being a coach's wife. That coach's wife.
Because she was probably having none of that nonsense at home.
That's right. So he was taking it out on us.
We were just talking about Coach Calhoun and his project at St. Joseph's.
Yeah.
Great that he was able to make it. He wouldn't miss this for the world.
No, I had a chance to sit with him for about an hour this morning, and he's still sharp. He enunciates a little bit better now than when I was a freshman. I didn't understand a word he said with that Boston accent, but maybe that was from his time in television a little bit. But he still has the passion for the game.
Alterique Gilbert finds Adams. Junior chases it down. Good ball movement, just can't get the finish.
You know, I think that's the hardest shot in basketball, that 6 to 8 foot shot along the baseline, and enough guys don't work on it. Very difficult shot.
No backboard, takes extreme touch. Khalif Young showed a little touch there.
He did. Going against a freshman, Carlton, and a foul there on the other end by Khalif Young.
Speaking of freshmen now, listen, this is a moment. This is Makai Ashford Langsford, first time with the starting unit.
Ed Cooley continuing to experiment. Kevin Ollie doing the same. A A lot of fun at Mohegan Sun Arena. Friars up 20 in the second half. Jay Alter, Donnie Marshall, Stu Jackson here at Mohegan Sun Arena. Providence has opened up a 20-point lead in the second half over UConn. Fourth member of the broadcast, Tariq Turner, standing by on the sideline. Tariq, what's going on?
Slow start for UConn in the second half. They're down 14-3 run to Providence in the second half, and the biggest issue has been defensively. Live ball turnovers leading to runouts, and bad transition defense by UConn has allowed Providence to get out and run and get out in transition, and that's really opened this game up. UConn has really struggled in taking care of the basketball and then getting back on defense, getting out to shooters. Dribble penetration, particularly by Cartwright, has been an issue, and Jalen Adams and Tariq Gilbert in particular have to do a better job of slowing down the point of attack and keep the ball out of the paint. Live ball turnovers especially have led to a lot of offensive runouts, and UConn has to get back defensively to slow down Providence's pace.
Thanks, Tariq. Donnie, as we take a look at the stats, Providence shooting 17 of 25. They've been lights out for an exhibition game.
Well, UConn had 4 turnovers at halftime. 5. They have 4 already in this half. So that has fueled what Providence has done. They've created offense with their defense, which is not a bad thing if you talk to Ed Cooley. I call it mindless basketball. You get out, you run, you score, you get stops. Instead of having to come down and set up half court, guys have to know where to be, the spacing. Every coach loves to coach mindless basketball because in the end, if you win, you are the genius of that product. Even if your players take long twos and you're Stu Jackson and you're the head coach, you still look like a genius.
But you know, Donnie, how do you get back in the game? You get it back to the time, all right? You get defensive stops, finish the possession by rebounding basketball so that UConn can get out and play some mindless basketball. Get out on a break. But it starts here at the defensive end.
8 to shoot. Diallo leaves it in the front rim. Nate Watson, the freshman, offensive board, and puts it in for 2.
And Kevin Ollie has a 3-guard lineup in, and that's one of the issues with the 3-guard lineup. Long rebounds, your guards aren't used to boxing out, 15 feet out. So now what happens is the long rebounds, they turn and look, and white jerseys are picking it up and putting it back in.
Going the other way, that's on the freshman Josh Carlton, 6'9".
And that's a part of the game when talking to Kevin Ollie that Jalen Adams is going to learn better because he has guys like Antoine Anderson and Tariq Gilbert, because he won't have to force the issue. He can get that shot anytime he wants. Run something, get it back, get a higher percentage shot. He'll get that chance with the guard out there alongside him this season.
No, I mean, it's common among teams that are behind double digits or big leads is that you want to get it all back yourself individually. And the reality is that a team, you have to do it defensively and get stopped from down at the offensive end. Move the basketball east to west, get easy shots, 2 by 2, creep yourself back in the game and see if you can get this under 10 points with about 9 minutes to go.
And remember, guys, he had to do that last year.
Right.
I mean, that was most of their offense, is him coming down and doing it all by himself.
The injuries last year, killer for Kevin Ollie and his coaching staff. 3 contributors all hurt in the first 4 games. Mamadou Diarra, Tariq Gilbert, and Terry Larrier. And the team responded, only finished 1 game below 500. Now you get those guys back, bring in some more freshmen. The team should be well improved this season.
Kevin talked about over 400 turnovers last season, and he hopes with the 2 or 3 guard lineup that will trim that back a little bit and give them more quality opportunities on offense.
Ashton Langford hanging in the air, can't finish.
Little indecision there by the young point guard.
Tipped around into the hands of Alpha Diallo. It's a young group on the court right now for Ed Cooley. Nate Watson continues to do his thing. Freshman impressing against the Huskies.
You know what I like about what Nate did there? He didn't bring the ball down. He didn't put it on the floor. He just powered up, used his body, wedged his body against the defender, and then finished. This keeps it up, goes right back up, no dribble, using his strength. Good finish. I like what I see out of this freshman, Nate Watson.
Concerted effort to throw the ball inside, even in transition. Now Ed Cooley is seeing that UConn's going a little bit smaller, so let's throw that ball inside and see if they can guard us.
Adams left open, triggers a three, no good.
Shooting turnover.
UConn looking at the scoreboard, trying to force their way back into this game.
But you know, you have to learn to be better at that as a team. There's going to be times you get a little bit of adversity when you get behind. As a team, you got to know how to respond. All right, and again, not to be repetitive, but you don't respond by individually getting it back. You've got to even, bear down even more and get that basketball moving and try to get easier, high percentage shots.
And I've always liked the idea of maybe not a long three, if it's a 20-point game. How about getting into the paint, drawing some contact? Now what happens is you're getting a chance to score while the clock is stopped, and you get a chance to set up your defense, whether it's full court, whatever it might be. You get a little breather. You knock down a three, now you're running back, they're coming right down your throat. You don't control the pace with long threes when you're down 20. You control the pace by stopping that clock, getting a couple buckets, and being able to get back on defense.
And Stu, Ed Cooley told us before the game, sophomore at the foul line, Alpha Diallo, might be the best player on this team when it's all said and done this season. He expects a big jump from the sophomore year.
Well, yeah, and the one thing I do like about Alpha, he plays on both sides of the ball. He's an excellent defender. What's happened, and he's always been that, but what's happened, he's improved his offensive game. Obviously, over the summer, he's shooting the ball better from the perimeter, which he didn't do a good job of last year. He's making smarter offensive decisions and not rushing. He's just a more polished player.
Eric Cobb, post move. That's a good finish.
Would love to see more of that from this offense, right? Throw the ball inside of the big fella, move out of his way, give him some space.
Move the basketball, get it inside, play inside out, get high percent shots. That's what UConn needs right now. Now, Eddie Cooley told us before the game he was going to experiment playing with two big guys. With Nate Watson and also Deshaun Dickens.
Watson is the man. He is long, he's strong, big body, knows how to carve out space already.
And one, using the back of DeJour Dickens to draw the foul. Adams with the finish.
But what DeJour did, right? He came back in to help defense. He took his eye off the ball.
Yeah.
And the offensive player went right up his back.
Nothing good happens when your numbers on your back are facing the offensive player.
It's tough to foul with your back and your face. Those are two things that are tough to foul.
Freshmen find ways to do all of that. We know that.
Adams is a smart player, though. He saw the back of Dickens and took advantage. Converts the three-point play.
These two big guys, experimentation is going well. Feed it into the young big guy, Nate Watson. Takes the dribble, right? Dribble there to the right, snap back. Yeah, very nice footwork and easy finish. Oh, boy.
And one. To Langford. Between him and Nate Watson, Ed Cooley has to be happy with his freshman in a debut game like this.
Well, the strength and athleticism on that play, that's what they do in a place called the association. Okay, that was a big-time move here to take the contact, leverage the contact, bounce off, and finish at the rim. This is his first game. Let's say that again. This is his first game.
3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior on the court right now for Ed Cooley. Altry Gilbert taking advantage. Scoop and score.
And it's good when you have spacing. It's not so good when your guys are congested, but you need to get guys to knock down shots so the respect comes on the perimeter from the defense so you can create that space.
Edwards from the corner. Drew Edwards, he missed last season. Boy, if Ed Cooley can get him shooting like that.
Well, Donnie said it in the first half. You know, that's what he needs to exhibit. Hit wide open shot.
We're heating up here. Christian Vitale with a triple. All right, the rust has been shaken off momentarily. Here's Jordan Dickens. Freshman on freshman. 5 to shoot. Ashton Langford. He's got to hurry. Loses the handle at the end of the timer. Shot clock violation.
Well, they got a little discombobulated there offensively.
The three's flying in, though. It took a little while in this exhibition game. Crowd finally gets something to shout about. Trading threes here at Mohegan Sun, all for charity, and you're watching it on Fox Sports Go.
Sorry about that.
Back inside Mohegan Sun Arena, Providence a 20-point second half lead on UConn. Exhibition game for the Red Cross. 2 weeks before college basketball season officially upon us. We get a treat. Sneak peek at 2 teams that really look good. Don't let the score fool you. UConn's had some good sustained play. Let's throw you back to 2012. Ed Cooley first year with the Friars, taking on the UConn Huskies back in the old Big East. Andre Drummond, 2 alley-oops early. This was a really fun game.
It was about $150 million poorer than 2.
Bryce Cotton, he's a fan Big East. He's a name Big East fans will remember. Sharpshooter. Providence won this game at dunk. Great atmosphere between these 2 teams. UConn, though, they didn't get the win, but they got a couple of slams in on the Fires this night.
Alex Oriaki, Shabazz Napier, one of the all-time great guards at UConn. There were always these battles. It didn't matter how star-studded either team was. The one thing I remember about Providence is we were number 1 in the country, number 2. They didn't care. They could have been a winless team, and they would still give it to us. You know, it was the Civic Center back then. Now it's the Dunkin' Donuts Center. But they didn't care who we were, what our rank was, and we came out of there with bumps and bruises every single year.
Well, you know, Donnie, nothing's really changed at the dunk. I'll tell you, it's still one of the toughest places to play, as you know, in the Big East for any team who goes in there, regardless of how good you are.
You know, the fans understand the game. You know, some people in around the country, they like the game, but Providence fans, I mean, they live it. They understand. They know it. They study it, and you hear about it when you're the opponent playing in that building.
So we threw it back to 1987, saw the Caterpillar on Stu's upper lip.
God.
1995, Donnie Marshall, Ray Allen lighting it up for the Huskies.
Do we have some CYO?
The Hall of Fame coach, Jim.
Is there any CYO? Anything? Boys and Girls Club?
You see me airballing, Donnie. That's what you'd see. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. I'm sure Mom's got some tape at home.
I didn't know tonight we were going to take a march down basketball Hall of Fame. Memory lane here. I mean, this is like classic.
It is. It is. I'll tell you, Stu, as you look at the 2012 Ed Cooley, the talent he's been able to cultivate since getting into Providence, it just gets better and better every year. He's got a higher recruiting class now.
Well, yeah, and you know, if all reports are true, potentially when the National Letter of Intent Day comes along, Ed Cooley could be looking at a top 10 recruiting class in America. So we talk about the building, whether it's the Civic Center or the Dunk. When you're putting those type of players in there, it makes it even a bigger factor.
I mean, this class here is already a top 20 recruiting class, and you got to give a lot of respect to his staff. Coach Thomas, Coach Blaney, I mean, they get it. You know, small school, but they understand their environment. Kids are starting to catch on to it and love to win. I mean, what kid doesn't like to win? That's all they've been doing at PC the last 4 or 5 years.
Freshman Tyler Polley draws the foul. Now, we haven't seen a lot of him, Donnie, but the hype is real on this 6'8" player that Kevin Ollie's brought in his freshman year. Can play multiple positions and gives the Huskies a little versatility.
Believe it or not, probably their best shot taker as far as purest release. I mean, we know Jalen Adams can shoot it, all their guards can shoot it, but here's the kid, I think if he gets some time and some quality minutes, could have a chance to show UConn's offense stretching out at 6'8" and really causing some matchup problems.
Let's go to the sideline with Kim Adams. Kim.
Thanks, Jay. I just sat in on that last Providence huddle, and we've seen Providence be pretty dominant defensively, but the coaching staff is still stressing a few things. Defending the three-point line, make sure they're not getting any easy looks out there. And then also, they said no offensive boards, making sure they're getting bodies on people, limiting them to one shot. And then offensively, they said continue to push the ball up the floor, grab the rebounds. We've seen them be effective in transition tonight. So just to keep up with that high pace that they've had success with tonight, Jay.
Ed Cooley is not coaching this game like an exhibition.
He hasn't taken a seat yet. I mean, he's been standing up since the national anthem.
You would think this is an NCAA tournament game for Ed Cooley. By the way, Ed Cooley's been to the Big Dance 4 years in a row. Providence has never made it 5 years in a row. That's what Ed's looking to do this season.
Well, you see the nice move there by Edwards. And why was it set up? Because now he's made a couple long-range shots. People have to respect him. Yep. They come running at him. Ball fake, goes by him for the easy score. Fundamental basketball.
You think about it, UConn, North Carolina, what a great move.
Great hit. Tyler Polley showing off the handles.
I mean, we talked about him being able to knock down shots, but to put the ball on the floor.
Isaiah Jackson with the answer for the Friars.
Isaiah Jackson just reminding you that I am Mr. Glue. You score on us, I'm going to score 3 on you.
Elmer's,
that
right?
rhymes.
That's the nickname?
I think that rhymes.
But you can't talk enough about what Providence has done. I mean, there are teams 4 years in a row to the NCAA tournament. North Carolina hasn't done it. UConn hasn't done it. I mean, there are some teams going on behind the back and move here. But the thing that I think Ed fully understands, there is some pressure on them. They haven't been past the first weekend since 1997. So now you get a team that has some depth, his most talented. Now it gets real. Guys, we can get to the dance or we can get over the hump. And I think that's going to be their goal this year. And I think they can do it. I really do. I mean, when you put in front of guys, listen, we haven't been to the second weekend in 20 years. You'd love to be a player to be a part of that.
Providence picked 4th preseason in the Big East. The conference sent 7 teams to the Big Dance a year ago. And I agree, the expectation for this Providence team is not to make it and take that second weekend. Cartwright a 3, hand in the face, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're 22 points up, feeling a little bit of freedom. Shots come a little easier. Basket looks a little bigger. I'm the point guard. It's my time now.
5 minutes in, that's a bad shot.
Exactly. Especially by your point guard.
Polley leaves it short. Kyron Cartwright still in this game. Great minutes to play. This is coming from Ed Cooley, who said, oh, the young guys are going to take it. You won't see him today. He's still in this game. He's still playing real well.
Juices get flowing, and you understand what competition is all about.
Kyron Cartwright and the Friars come into play here at Mohegan. 25 taking on the Huskies. A rivalry renewed for a good cause. It's been a lot of fun on Fox Sports Go. Providence is 25-point lead in the second half. Don Marble, Stu Jackson, Jay Alter with you on the Big East Digital Network, powered by Fox Sports Go. Huskies came into tonight 46 straight win in the next fishing game. They need a miracle to turn things around, or that series going to be snapped. Now I'll give you both a guess. 1993, who's the team that ended, or that was the last loss in an exhibition game? Donnie, I mean, you were playing in that game, right?
I mean, it was always Marathon Oil, athletes in action. I think
Bingo.
Marathon Oil, maybe?
Marathon Oil.
Not fair, though. They're
Yeah.
grown men playing against us. Come on, man.
That's how Coach Calhoun liked it.
Grown men or not, if your team's name is Marathon Oil, that's a team you have to
They
beat.
got some good teams, though, man. They got some good players on those teams.
What do you remember, if anything, about that game?
How we did not take our uniforms off and practice after that game. Coach Calhoun was ruthless when it came to that. Stay in uniforms, we're practicing. We're going to go in the locker room. When the guys are cleaning up the popcorn and the drinks off the floor, we're going to be out there practicing.
All the way back in 1993. So 46 straight exhibition wins later, here we are at Mohegan Sun Arena for a good cause. Every dollar of this game going to the Red Cross. And Providence has just come out and laid one down on UConn. And this could be a statement, though, for Kevin Ollie. You can use this positively to help your team get better motivated and going forward.
Talking to him at shoot-around earlier today, he said it's a win-win. You know, the charity we understand for the American Red Cross, you get that. But the basketball side of it, if we win, okay, great, it gives us confidence. If we lose, we can learn from that. And he believes, much like I do, and maybe it came from Jim Calhoun, you learn more about yourself in losses than you do in wins. You know, you win, we're going to have pizza, ice cream, we're hanging out, everyone's playing video games. You lose, you're going to watch tape. You're going to work on those things that you didn't do well the next day in practice.
Good take there by Jalen Adams. Again, you want to see Jalen Adams, you know, this far behind take shots like that, don't you, Don?
Yes.
Right? Not the errant three, but let's show the young guys and you guys what you do, how you play UConn basketball. Get the ball at the rim, get to the line. Again, make shots, score the ball when there's, the time's not moving.
And think about it like this, too. The defense has got to be tired.
Yeah.
So they're looking up at that score. They're saying, oh, the game's almost over. We're blowing them out. That's when you do your work. You're scoring while the clock stopped. Get a chance to set up your defense.
Jalen Adams with a real opportunity to be the best player in the American Athletic Conference this year. He was picked first team, but he could win Player of the Year, absolutely, if he puts it together his junior year. And the American adding Wichita State this year, that adds a real dynamic to the league. Number 8 in the Coaches Bowl preseason. They're going to be a bear and a force to be reckoned with in this conference immediately in their first year.
How about you start a new conference and you're ranked number 1 or number 2, depending on who you hear. Wichita State, that's how you show up at a party. With a mustache and a cream jacket on. And a receding hairline. The Stu Marshall look.
That's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. Well, there you have Providence. Turnover. You score at the other end.
Freshman connection there. Pocket gives it away.
This time of the game, Kevin Ollie is looking for who's playing hard still.
Yeah, because you can leave this game, Donnie, with something positive. Chances are you're probably not going to win the game, but how do you finish? What do you carry over into tomorrow?
Character building.
Underneath, Vitale missed it, but he picked it up for himself for 2. Timeout, Ed Cooley. He's on the court. He's been looking for a timeout.
He says they're on a 6-0 run. I'm not having it.
Coach Cooley were in the mid-court to call that, and he is not happy with his
This is a charity game, remember.
Yeah, was he out of the coach box?
Just a little. Just a little.
Gotta love Coach Cooley. His team, he's got a lot of positives to take away from this game, though. We'll step aside. UConn Providence playing for the Red Cross. We got more on the other side. Back here in Mohegan Sun Arena, an absolute hockey legend in the craft. Hero just inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame, well observed, coached the Huskies in the 60s and the 70s. He built it all.
If I look that good at 89 years old,
wow,
man, I mean, again, you got to talk about the person to his left, his wife. Just an amazing relationship they've had, but people who don't know UConn basketball, I mean, you wouldn't know. D-Row is our godfather. He really is what kind of set everything off. You know Jim Calhoun, but another guy we talked about that was like an advisor. You know, like Calhoun is there for Kevin. D-Row is there for all of the coaches after him, and I mean, you basically bow down to this guy. He doesn't want you to, but that's what you do with D-Row.
He started it all for the Huskies. Yes, he passed the torch to Jim Calhoun, who took it to a whole new level with players like yourself. But if not for that man to get it all started, UConn would not be the program it is today.
Coach in the Olympics, I mean, he really has seen a lot of basketball.
And he's got more hair on his head than you did in your college playing days in 1995.
Oh, I do remember one thing. We always talk when we're joking about facial hair. He would always tell me to shave that bleep. He's an old school guy, and the reason I always kept it clean was because of D-Row. He said you got to look professional for people to treat you professionally, and he's so right.
Well, Donnie, you're doing a good job of honoring him today.
Yes, clean shaven. Stu, I think you got to grow the mustache back out.
No.
That's
been there and done that. You know, but you remember, like Kawhi 5'0", Tom Selleck at the time. I mean, you know, it was in.
If Stu grows that mustache out, I'm wearing his jacket every game I do this season.
Oh, Coach Lavin probably has one of those jackets in the closet as well.
Johnny, I'll tell you what.
Great pass from Gilbert and a finish.
We're looking forward this year to seeing you and Coach share the Sugar Lavin again on Fox.
Yeah, here we are, man. It's awesome. I mean, the summers, people now the summer, it's long because you miss college basketball. And we're already back at it. A good feel for it with these two old rivals, but yeah, it's going to be a great season on Fox. Big Ten basketball, Big East basketball.
Ashton Langford a three, off the mark. That's Mamadou Diarra in the game. He had the dunk on the other end. Haven't seen a lot of him today. Redshirt freshman who's fought some knee injuries early in his career.
To be honest, guys, I don't know if it's because of the score or just because the game has opened up and transition is what Kevin Ollie wants his team to be about. But they're playing much better basketball, more aware UConn right now the last 5-8 minutes than they did, I think, a lot of the first half. They're sharing the basketball. They're getting out in transition. They're doing the job defensively.
Yeah, again, I mean, you take something positive away, and they're just trying to, quote-unquote, play the game the right way. You know, they haven't had success up to now, but I agree with you. I mean, if we look at the score here, they have to be on, like, what, probably a 12-6 run. I mean, I'm sort of making that up. But the point is, they're playing winning basketball right now.
What's your takeaway if you're Kevin Ollie from the game so far?
I love the intensity level. I love how my guards got up into guys defensively. Shot selection is always going to be something we have to talk about all season long. And Kevin likes it. Look at that. He loves the defensive intensity of his guards because that's really what's going to make them go.
And you said he was going to look at the end of the game for guys that are hustling. That was a great hustle play by Christian Tech.
5 minutes to play in this game. But you have to remember, Kevin Ollie was that type of player himself. So he's looking for players that are similar to the way he played.
Patel on the offensive end. That's a great take.
And it's a great reward. You do the job defensively, you get the ball back, and you get a bucket.
But, Donnie, what's the common denominator now in this little run that they're having? They're getting shots in the paint. They're driving the basketball, sharing the basketball, not settling.
4 for 20 for today, UConn. Cartwright a floater. Cutter and Cartwright showing off.
Eddie Cooley won the foul. The same guy who said, I'm not going to have my seniors out there.
What a take on the other end. Altari Gilbert with the response. And then Cooley takes a timeout, up 15 in an exhibition charity game. I love it. That's what it's all about. UConn and Providence. Old Big East rivalry renewed for a good cause. It's been a lot of fun. We're enjoying it here at Mohegan Sun. UConn on a little bit of a second half spurt, still trailing Providence by 15, 80-65. Member of our crew, Kim Adams, standing by with Providence Athletic Director Bob Driscoll. Kim.
Thanks so much for joining us. Look around, you got a big crowd, high caliber basketball. This doesn't feel like an exhibition game, but how pleased are you with the event tonight and how it's aiding in Red Cross hurricane efforts?
Well, I'm thrilled. We got over 7,000 people here. You know, good friends with our folks down at UConn. Our fans came out in style, and this is a high-end game. Two major Division I programs playing in an exhibition game. It's good for our teams, but more importantly, it's good for the hurricane victims and raising money for those folks who have suffered. So I'm happy, more happy for the cause, but it's great to get a good game in as well.
And just a little bit up north in Friartown, I understand you guys have a lot of developments going on, including the Rowan Fire Development Center. What can you tell us about the progress of that, and what is it going to bring to the university?
Well, we're really excited. We're the last school in the Big East to actually have a high performance center, and we took all the great ideas from the other schools in the Big East. It's on construction. It'll be ready to go next September, but it'll be a state-of-the-art facility to help our student athletes hopefully compete for another Big East championship and ultimately a national championship.
And we know Coach Cooley has done a tremendous job, 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances. It's very early, but what are your early impressions of this year's team based on what you've seen tonight?
Well, I've been impressed. I've been at Providence for 16 years, and this is probably the most talented team with the depth that we have. So one game doesn't certainly indicate what's possible, but I'm really pleased with what I see so far.
Do you think it's going to be a 5th trip to the Big Dance for Friars?
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Ed doesn't like to talk about that, just does it one game at a time. But I think we have the ability, and in the Big East is such a great conference. We play the best every night, so that's our goal.
All right, hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks so much for your time, Bob.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
All right, Jay, back to you.
I need to go pocket square shopping with Bob Driscoll. That is a well-dressed man.
Put it together.
You know, not only a well-dressed man, an excellent athletic director. I mean, the guy has won a national championship under his belt, and that's in hockey. You know, he does a great job of fundraising at the school. I mean, if you walk on Providence's campus compared to when I coached there, it's hardly recognizable, particularly from the athletic facility standpoint. You add to the fact he's just a great leader, great man. Ed Cooley loves the guy. You know, Providence is very lucky to have Bob Driscoll.
This lead with 25 points. UConn is cut it in half to 13. Friars get a nice response there. A great pass to Isaiah Jackson.
Yep.
That's that transition 3 that we haven't been happy with all night. Cartwright, almost a scoop to the hoop finish, instead draws the foul.
And it's a one-pass jack. I mean, you got to let the defense react a little bit, have someone run at you, for a little bit of time. Now what happens is there's a long rebound and you're retreating, guys are reaching, and Cartwright's going to the foul line.
And it's not the way they've played the last 15 possessions of this game, Donnie. That shot almost seemed out of whack compared to how UConn's been playing the game here the last 10 minutes, which has been very good basketball.
You trim deficit 13, and you're going in the right direction. You got a little momentum, and then you take that shot, and now all of a sudden the other team is scoring with the clock stopped.
Cartwright to me looks, Jay, like he's gotten a little stronger this year. Does it to you?
That's what being in a senior is all about.
Yeah.
I think so, too. He's taking a lot of...
Physical.
Yeah, I agree. In the shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, those first 2 years, it's like Twinkies and Ding Dongs and just whatever you can find late at night. Your last 2 years, you start to grow up a little bit. Now you're eating some fish, some pasta. You're eating much better because you learn more about your body and how you felt after a 30-game season.
Jordan Dickens looked like a freshman. To your point.
Now he needs some Ding Dongs and cupcakes and Twinkies. He even any kind of weight, good weight, bad weight, whatever it is.
7 feet, only 220 pounds.
I told you guys I was that when I walked in the building. I'm like 235 now.
Ed Cooley working on the zone here a little bit.
Deep three falls for Alteric Gilbert.
Not the distance, it's the ball movement, it's shifting the defense, getting a wide open shot.
Dickens thought he had a slam. Foul call. Josh Carlton says, I'm not going to let an easy dunk happen late in the game. Freshman on freshman crime.
I'll tell you what a luxury for Ed Cooley to have. You know, I mean, UConn's playing great basketball. They've cut the deficit. They end up with the 3, except we forget Kyron Cartwright is in the game. And he's got a sense of the moment and what's needed. He pushes the ball right back, gets an easy penetration into the lane, and sends things to the free throw line.
And in all fairness, for people saying, well, Jalen Adams is in the game. Well, they're different, completely different animals. UConn's situation, their roster versus Providence. You have a veteran team, Providence, who they understand who they are, returning a lot of guys. You have a UConn team who's trying to figure it out with a lot of newcomers.
Adams misses the bunny. Providence is going to go without Cartwright for the final 2 minutes and change. Young group on the court right now for Ed Cooley, up 14. Freshman Dickens. Sophomore Diallo, 10 to shoot. Open look for Edwards and a nice finish from the sophomore Drew Edwards. He's gotten himself in some good positions.
He's a slasher. He uses his athleticism very well. Not much of a creator right now, more of a straight line driver. Can knock down an open shot. He's a nice little piece for Ed Cooley to have, another athlete.
Alley-oop!
Okay,
Fresh
how do you like me now? How do you like me now? Making fun of my man now.
De jour Dickens. Highlight of the night.
De jour.
From Ashton Langford, and Dickens did the rest.
Hoop de jour.
Sharing the basketball is just such a special thing, especially when it's coming from your young guys. But that right there can't be taught. That's just a feel. You play basketball all your life. You get to this point to throw one of those to a college teammates. A great feeling, but that's hard to teach. Dude, you just have to have it in you. You got to feel for the game.
No question, but there's no question those 2 freshmen, okay, they're playing that in the dorm room,
Yes.
right? They said, listen, when we get up
again.
16 and you're on the break, I'm throwing it at the rim.
That's right.
A lot of fun here in Mohegan Sun. Both teams getting a lot of valuable experience to take into practice this week. But that's the highlight. They'll be playing that back in Friartown.
Even the ball don't like it.
It's Stu's guy. He claimed him early in this broadcast.
I'm claiming him for his career. You know,
if you're Kevin Ollie, you got to be telling your team, listen, no one stopped the ball. No one communicated on who was running to the basket. And there's still time to go in this game. You can't just start walking around now. You guys did a great job the second part of this second half. We battled back out of 13, finished on a high note.
Ed Cooley putting the walk-ons in with the minute 35 left. Letting everybody touch the court here at Mohegan Sun in a fun exhibition game between the Huskies and the Friars.
I wonder if Eddie's going to go play a little bingo after we get done with this game. He's feeling good. He's got a good team, got a lot of depth, a lot of talent.
make no mistake here, this possession, if either of those new players on the floor screws up defensively, they're going to hear about it.
Andrew Fonts and Tom Planick, two freshmen. Walk-ons for Ed Cooley. Meanwhile, Kevin Ollie still got the starting lineup in. Jalen Adams, Altariq Gilbert, and Antoine Anderson, that three-guard offense. That's been where UConn's been at their best tonight with those three guys on the floor.
You know, I had a chance to talk to Ricky Moore, assistant coach for UConn today, and he said, you know, we just don't have the bigs that we're looking for. I said, Ricky, we've never had bigs like that. Ever. I mean, okay, you got Michael before. He may be that kind of outlier, but Travis Knight, who was a teammate of mine, a roommate, he wasn't a go-to big guy. Jake Voskuhl was a screen setter. We've never had, UConn has never had a big dominant player. And even Emeka had other guys around him, Big Gordon, some great guards, A.J. Price. So this is nothing different. So they're going to rely on their bigs to be second shot players, but their guards are really going to have to push them through this season and be efficient and be consistent.
Fonts a three. Almost. Got it. You're in the game.
Are you kidding me?
Up 16. Shoot your shot.
Not with a hand in your face, though.
Oh, Coach Stu. Why do you got to bring us down like that?
Hand in your face.
Hand in the
on
face.
your arm. I don't care. You shoot it because you won't get a chance to do that a lot this season.
I'm with you, Donnie. I'm with you. I mean, he doesn't want people shooting mid-range. He doesn't want you shooting hand.
He doesn't want the 13th guy taking a shot.
My man Fonts needs to understand who to listen to. All the players on the floor said, yeah, man, when you get it, shoot it. The guy in black on the sidelines is saying, take a good shot. He's listening to the wrong people.
Shoot the ball, Fonts.
What does Providence take away from a game like this? 15-point victory, it seems. What can they use in the next 2 weeks before the season starts?
Jalen, you know hope.
Yeah, I mean, you can take away the fact that, listen, you've got experience, you've got depth, you've shot a high percentage, which means you're taking good shots, you're sharing the basketball. The only negative I can see was the fact that they didn't rebound the ball defensively well in the first half. Other than that, you've got to feel good about playing this well against a quality opponent.
Christian Vital knocks down another three. Shot clock it off. Providence can hold. Putting up 90 in an exhibition game against a good UConn team. Nick Cooley's got all of the happy.
Sharing the basketball, your freshman showed up, and I remember Ed Cooley at Big East Media Day saying, you know what, you don't even worry about the freshmen. You think about them when the sophomores. Well, he's thinking about his freshmen out of this game. They really showed up for him and played well.
They really did.
Those two guys, Ed Cooley, Kevin Ollie, putting this together in just 2 weeks' time for a good cause. $75,000 going to the Red Cross. Got some good basketball out of it as well.
Oh, this was fun, guys.
Awesome to be a part of this. Not only seeing Stu's jacket from 1970, but also it went to a wonderful charity, and it just shows us that with everything going on in the world, that we still think about each other. We can come together in one of the most beautiful games on the planet, college basketball, and guys can leave it all out there for a great cause. And I'm just so fortunate to have been a part of it.
Well, thank you for being here, Donnie. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to help us out with this one on the Big East Digital Network. Providence wins it 90-76. The big winners tonight, though, the American Red Cross and the hurricane victims. They get $75,000 thanks to Providence and UConn putting on a show for us on Fox Sports Go. For our entire crew, it's been a fun one. Donnie Marshall, Stu Jackson, I'm Jay Alter saying so long for Mohegan Sun. Providence wins 90-76.